Selected from the Balgar book. Suresh Kumar gives you the following information regarding following information and prepare the cost sheet. Direct material cost is 4 lakh. Direct material cost incurred 4 lakh. Direct wages 2 lakh. Direct expense 1,50,000. Factory overhead is 20% on prime cost. They asked to calculate factory overhead on prime cost. So you take 20% of prime cost, that will give you factory overhead. Next, administration overhead is 10% on work cost. 10% of work cost represent the administration overhead. Okay. Selling expense rupees 5 per unit. Selling expense is rupees 5 per unit, and units produced and sold is 10,000 unit. Okay. You see the cost sheet. Date is not given. Direct material consumed 4 lakh divided by 10,000, it is 40. Direct labor 2 lakh divided by 10,000, 20 rupee. Direct expense 1,50,000 divided by 10,000, 15. Total 7,50,000 prime cost. Total per unit prime cost is 75. Okay, this is the prime cost. Then factory overhead. Factory overhead is 20% on prime cost. You calculate 20% on this 7,50,000. On this 7,50,000, you calculate 20%. Okay, 20% of 7,50,000 is 1,50,000. Divide by 10,000, 15 per unit. Take the total. 9 lakh is the total. 90 is per in total. This is called as factory cost or work cost or production cost. Okay. Then you take the administration overhead. What is administration overhead in the given problem? 20%. 20% on prime cost. Okay. You take 20% on the prime cost. Prime cost is, 20% on, no. It is 10% on work cost. Factory overhead is 10% on work cost. Sorry. Clear? You calculate 10% on 9 lakh. It is 90,000. Divide by 10,000. It is 9. Then total is cost of production. 9,90,000 is the total. Per unit is 99. Cost of production. Then selling and distribution expense. Selling and distribution expense is rupees 5 per unit. For 1 unit, rupees 5. Then what about 10,000 unit? Okay. 10,000 into 5. It is 50,000. Per unit is 5 rupees. Rupees 5. Then take the total. This is called as cost of sale. This is cost of sale. Then you see here, cost of sale is 10,40,000 total. Per unit is 104 rupees. And next stage is you have to add profit or deduct the loss. But regarding profit or loss, they are not given the information. Then you see, is there any information regarding the sales? Number of units produced and sold is 10,000 units, but selling price is not given. Total sale amount is not given. Selling price per unit is not given. So I am helpless to calculate the total sale and also helpless to calculate the profit. Therefore, this is the last. This is the last stage. Okay. This is the third example. Okay. You see the next example. Example number 4. In the example number 4, Pawan company produces a product. Pawan company produces the product. From the following data, prepare cost statement and profit. You see the raw material consumed is 90,000. Direct wages or labor is 54,000. Machine hours worked 18,000. The machine hours worked is the machines works in the factory itself. So this is the item related with factory. This is the item related with factory. Machines, we take the use of machine in the factory means production plant. Therefore, the machine expenses are connected with factory. So, machine hours worked is 1,800. Machine hour rate 30. What is this? Machine hour rate. Do you know the meaning of this? Machine hour rate means it is the cost of running a machine 1 hour. Whatever expenses you incur to take the work from a machine for 1 hour, whatever expenses you incur, that is called as machine hour rate. Machine hour rate means these are the expenses we incur to run a machine for 1 hour. What is the diesel required? What is the other expenses required? What is the help of foreman? What is the help of the other workers? What is the material required, labor required, expense required to run a machine for 1 hour? That is called as machine hour rate. Okay. So to run 1 hour, you require 30 rupees. To run a machine for 1800 hours, what is the expense required? You multiply and ascertain the value of cost. Okay. This is the factory overhead. And next is administration overhead, 20% on work cost. It is possible to calculate. Selling cost per unit is rupees 3, and we calculate the selling cost on the basis of that. Selling cost per unit, rupees 3. This rupees 3 is selling expense per unit sold. Remember this. And units produced 30,000. Here is the point. You have to take sincere steps. Unit produced 30,000, units sold 28,000. What it mean? You produced 30,000 units in the given period of time. You produced 30,000 units in the given period of time. Then units sold is 20,000 units in that given period. 28,000 in that given period at the rate of rupees 25 per unit. Okay. There is a lot difference of 2,000 units. Am I right? Unit produced is 30,000, but sold is 28,000. There is a difference of 2,000 units. What it mean? Do you know something about it? Anybody answerable to me? There is a 2,000 difference between the unit produced and unit sold. $2,000 is the difference. Anybody will help me? Am I audible or not?
Loss.
Yes?
Loss.
You are not audible. I am not audible.
You're audible, sir.
I am thinking that you are already completed the theory part, and sir has solved 2-3 examples on this chapter. And Dr. V.M. Merrimat already told me he has solved some examples on this chapter. Okay. Anyhow, are you understanding my language or not?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
Is it comfortable to you?
sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I'll give you my cell number to you people in the group. You can call me at any time regarding your academic problems and academic suggestions. If you would like to give me some suggestions regarding your academic points, you call me at any time, and you be freely and frankly interact with me. Okay.
Yes.
30,000 units are the produced. Okay. Units sold is 28,000. There is a difference. You produce 30,000 units and sold 28,000 units, means 2,000 units are with you people. Am I right? You produce 30,000 units and sold 28,000 units. It is nothing but 2,000 units are with you at the end of the period. That indicates closing stock of goods. That indicates closing stock. Remember this. They will not directly tell you the closing stock of finished goods. They will not tell you the closing stock of goods to you people directly. Okay. So 2,000 units are closing stock units, finished stock units. I'll go slowly. I was a little bit fast because you have completed this one. I see here. I'll open the cost sheet. This is the cost sheet for the given period. Okay, first you take the material. Direct material consumed. What is the direct material consumed? 90,000. You take the 90,000. Here are the two quantities. Unit sold is 28,000. Unit produced is 30,000. This 90,000 is to be divided by unit produced 30,000 units. Remember this point. Okay. You divide by 30,000, you will get rupees 3 per unit of material. Then second is direct labor. Direct labor is 54,000. You divide by unit number of units produced. Number of units produced 30,000 divided by 30,000. It is 1.8. Then direct expenses are not given in the problem. Therefore, you take the total. The total is 1,44,000. Total cost per unit is 4.80. 4.80. This is called as prime cost. Okay. The next is factory overhead. Factory overhead is to be calculated on the basis of machine hours worked. Machine hours worked 1800. Machine hour rate is rupees 30. You multiply these two. 1800 into 30. Product of this is called as factory overhead. 54,000. 54,000. Then divide by number of units. Divide by number of units. Number of units produced is 30,000. Divide by 30,000. It is 1.80. Then take the total. 1,98,000 is the total cost per unit is 6.60. This is called as factory cost. Okay, this is called as factory cost. Then to this factory cost, you have to add administration overhead. Administration overhead is 20% on work cost. 20% on work cost. 20% on factory cost. Work cost, factory cost, same. Production cost, same. Calculate 20% of factory cost. Factory cost is 1,98,000. On this 1,98,000, you calculate 20%. 20% of 1,98,000 is 39,600. Divide by 30,000. Divide by 30,000. This is 1.32. Okay. Now you take the total. This total is called as cost of production. Cost of production. In this stage, you have to take unit produced in the inner column. Where? In the inner column. In the inner column, you take, this is the cost of production. Total cost of production is 2,37,600. Per unit is 7.92. In this stage, compulsorily you remember the unit produced in the inner column. Here, 30,000. Particular inner column you take 30,000. This is 30,000 is unit produced. Okay. In this problem, there is no opening finish stock. There is no opening finish stock. There is a closing stock. What is closing stock? 30,000 unit produced, 28,000 sold. So difference is 2,000. That is called as closing stock. You see here, I will take here less closing stock of finished goods. Less closing stock of finished goods. Closing stock is 2,000. Closing stock is 2,000 unit. Its value is 15,840. How I ascertained this? This is ascertained on the basis of cost of production per unit. Cost of production per unit and unit of closing stock. 2,000 into 7.92. 7.92. You note down separately. I have not expressed here. I have not expressed in the slide. You note down this point separately. Closing stock is equal to closing stock unit into cost of production per unit. Okay. Its value is 15,840. Okay. In the next session, I will show the calculation. Out of 30,000 unit produced, you say deduct the closing stock unit, you will get unit sold. Unit sold. Cost of unit sold is 28,000. Sorry, 28,000 is the unit sold. 2,21,760 is the cost of goods sold. Okay. From this stage, you have to consider the unit sold. You have to consider the units sold. Units sold. Okay. From the first stage to the cost of production stage, you divide the total cost by number of units produced. That is 30,000. And from this stage onwards, you divide the total cost column by the unit sold. Unit sold is 28,000. Okay. This is called as cost of goods sold, and divide the total by the unit sold. The per unit is same. Okay. You don't write in the per unit column of cost of units closing stock unit, as I already explained. Okay. The next stage is selling and distribution overhead. Selling and distribution overhead is rupees 3 per unit. Okay. This 3 per unit is for units sold, not for produced. Not for produced. So 28,000 into 3. This is 84,000. This is 84,000. 84,000 is the total cost. Divide by 28,000. Again it is 3. Selling and distribution overhead. Okay. Then whatever comes the total, this total is called cost of sale. This is cost of sale. Cost of sale. Then you leave one line and take the sale. The difference will be profit or loss. Okay, I'll take this sale. Sale is 28,000 unit. 28,000 unit at the rate of 25 per unit. 28,000 into 25. 28,000 into 25 is the total sale, that is 7 lakh. Okay, per unit is 25. This is the sale. Then difference between these two is called as profit, because sale is more than cost. Okay, the total profit is 3,94,240. Per unit profit is 14.08. 14 rupees 8 paisa is the profit per unit. It is calculated on the basis of difference. Okay. You write this as a profit and sale.